Hey guys, back again. Look, it's been a really long time since we've put out a video, and it's just because life's got in the way. We've been super busy at work. In this video, believe it or not, we actually made it over a month ago, and the only thing we've had to do is this introduction to put on the front so we can post it, and every night we talk about doing it and it never happens, so we've finally got to it. Sorry it's taken so long, but enjoy the video. Alright guys, we're finally back after a couple of months away from this thing, and I really want to get it finished. So as we said in the last video, the roof is all done, so now we've got to focus on this center colour here, which isn't as difficult as the roof, but it's still a bit of a pain because you've got to take windows out and all that sort of thing. As you remember, when we were putting this middle panel on there, I had constant problems with this thing popping out here because it's just folded up. Let me see, it's just folded up underneath there, so there's no actual fastener through it. And we just had endless problems trying to stop it from popping out all the time. And at the time, my father said just put some screws in it, and I said to him, no, I'm definitely not doing that. Well, 2 or 3 months later, I am going to put some screws in it, and luckily he's too old to watch YouTube, so he's not going to know that I said that and that he's right. Alright, just had an interruption there. Anyway, we're back. So, yeah, it turns out Dad's probably right. It's probably the best way to do it, just to ensure that it's not going to pop. You know, last thing you want to do is arrive at the camping ground and this panel's popped out. It's going to look horrible and just be a pain in the ass. And also, when this is finished, it's going to have a pinstripe running along that edge as well. In terms of fastening it, I can't use rivets because there is a gap in behind here. Well, it's been a couple of months since I've recorded, I'm getting used to it. If I put a rivet, it's going to pull it all the way in there and do what that rivet's done there. And it's hard to see on the camera, but basically it's created a dent in there. So, can't use rivets, but I want to use something that I can control how far that it pulls the panel in, but also doesn't have a huge big head on it. So I'll go and get one and I'll show you what I'm going to use. I was at Mitre 10 this morning and I got these screws here. So they're not too big. The head on them is really small, which are almost like the size of a rivet head really, which is what I want. So I'm going to run these along, and because I'm anal, I've actually put some tape on there and I've marked out so I can have them at even intervals. And they're going to go, you see where I've marked it, I'll probably go about 5 mil up, and it'll just pull it in nicely there. And when it's painted, you'll see around the other side, we'll just walk around. It's going to have a pinstripe on it like that, because I'm going to get these remade. So the screw head will be underneath these. So although this will be raised a little bit, it won't be terribly obvious. And that's the reason why I wanted one with not too much of a raised head on it. So I'll drill these out first, I think. I went out and bought some new drill bits, and might just drill one out and pop it in and see what it looks like. I've just marked this out, and I've stuck masking tape on there because once you put this marker on top of something that you're going to paint, it's almost impossible to get rid of. So the pinstripe that goes on this is about 22 mil. So what I've done is I've set my square to 8 mil, so by the time I mark on top of it, it's about 10. And therefore the screw should be sort of roughly in the center of that pinstripe, which is probably a little bit fussy because it won't be seen, but it'll make me happy. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, that went quite well really. They're definitely not intrusive at all. Can feel them there, and they probably show a little bit of a bump, but it's allowed me really to regulate how far in that panel goes and try and avoid distortion. There's one little bit of distortion there which won't show up as badly when paint's on it. That's where I leaned on it probably a bit hard with the drill. Not much I can do about that now. I'm just gonna think about it overnight. It's still in the middle of this big panel here. It's a bit, so I might just put one in there just to shore that up. And then if I'm doing that, do I do the same here? And then just not have as many under the windows. I might do that just so it's not too flimsy. And then whatever I do on this side, I will do exactly the same on the other side just to mirror it. So I'm going to run out of screws. I'll go get up in the morning, go and get some more. But I think that's what I'll do. I'll just sleep on it, but it'd be better off to have one more bump underneath the pinstripe than have a flimsy panel. Alright, time for a beer. Alright, it's 8 o'clock on Sunday morning and I've just got back from Mitre 10 getting the screws that I need. What I'm going to do, I've been thinking about, as I just said, thinking about what I'm going to do to shore up the flimsiness in this panel. I was sort of going to put some more screws in the middle, but I really don't want to do that. That there's pretty solid. They always have a bit of movement. That's pretty good. It's just really in the middle here. And that's where it's come away from the fold underneath, which is what I was worried about and why I'm putting these screws in the first place. Here's fine. And along there's okay as well. So I'm just going to put one in here and yeah, that'll do it I think. And then what I'm going to do, just walking around behind the hoist at the moment, is just one side at a time. Sorry, camera cut out on me. Yeah, I'm going to prep the top and bottom of this at the same time and put the whole lot in primer all the way around. And then I'll sand it all at one time, and then when it comes to putting the colour on, it's just really swapping masking. It makes it much easier. You're not, you know, sanding it again, you know, on each section. You're just going to do it all one time. Then you just swap the masking over and it's done. So I'm going to do it one side at a time. So I'm going to put that screw in there and quickly sand these panels for primer, and then I'll pull the windows out as well and just go around those. Alright, just spend an hour or so on this side here, getting it ready for primer. Used a combination of 600 on the DA sander and a red Scotch Brite. Just wanted to get the shine off it and give you know, the primer something to stick to. I've just got to do this painted area here as well. So next thing I have to do is pull these windows out, and I'm going to have to pull these things out as well, like the, I suppose you call them window runners, and clean off all the shit that will be left behind them. And there is a wee dent down here, right there, which I'm going to fix as well. And once we've done that, then this side will be done, ready for primer. And unfortunately, this is the easy side. The other side's going to be a little bit more difficult. All right, we're at 10 to 6 now. And I've been on this thing for a couple of hours all day. I've got a cameraman obviously now.
Hello.
So, windows out on this side, sanded everything down. And it's taken all day, but as I've been going along, I've been fixing up panels that haven't fitted right before, all that sort of thing. Around the back here I've refitted this panel, which we had to take off to fit the lower rear panel. Basically I'm 3/4 of the way through it. I haven't done the other side yet, but I've done the front and the back, and obviously this side here. All of this is ready now for to go into primer. So it's a good day. I was quite pleased, got a lot done, hell of a lot done. Because I got a wee bit despondent with this Caravan really. Sort of, you know, it's been a difficult Caravan to work on because they're way more technical than the older ones.
Just move there because it's flickering a bit over there because of the light.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, it's way more technical than the older model, so it's sort of been a bit of a struggle for me, but I've got there in the end. In terms of painting it, normally what I would do is I would take the, look at that. Somebody's moved in. Help yourself. Yeah, he's going to put his head out the window.
No.
Right. Anyway, normally painting the Caravan, especially the older ones, I take the windows, the glass out. But I haven't on this one because I don't know how to. Well, I can move this one in and out. I've taken the screws out, but I can't get it to come out. But it's good enough that I can get some masking tape in behind it, and I'm going to paint it with that in place. But it'll still be fine to get the paint in. What? And same thing around the front. Yeah. Same thing. I've got right up here. I can get paint in there, no problem. I can get masking tape in behind this rubber, so the rubber's not going to
Obstruct.
Yeah, it's not going to obstruct it, and we're not going to get paint on it. So I'm happy. I am happy doing it in place. So yeah, 3/4 of the way through it, and we've just got to do this other side, which is going to be way harder. Or maybe not, because it's still got all this original paint and pinstripes on it. So have to get the heat gun out, take all of this off.
Do you have a guy who can put these back on?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, window frames, windows and everything out. Awning light off. I'll probably just hang this, I think. All these domes have got to come out. And when I do it, I'll take the door off and do the door off separately. So it's probably a good day and really in getting that done. But once we've done it, then you know the hardest part is over, because when we're after it's primed, it's really easy to sand it down. Although time consuming, it is way easier than what we've been doing today. This is the hard part, getting it all right. So I reckon we're only really a matter of weeks away from having this painted. Couple of little things to do inside, but not a lot. I'm going to keep it the way it is. I'll order the decals. I'll get the stripe guy in to get organised for these. All these ones here, you can get those still brand new. So the Panorama 506. And up the top, because this is a Vagabond, going to have Lightweight Vagabond in black and silver up the top. So.
And if you're wondering where we get these panels from, we have a guy down in Wellington.
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah, Caravan and Motorhome World. These ones I didn't get from him
Right.
because it was all during the pandemic and all that sort of thing, and it was a bit of a pain to try and get down there.
But
So
you get
these
some
ones we
Orange
got
Ruffy.
done at Ulrich, but Orange Ruffy, I'm going to talk to Caravan Motorhome World. He just folds them up. They're always perfect.
We'll leave the address in the description.
Yeah. I'm going to go down and see him soon. So, yeah, we're pretty close with this. Oh, and I have decided on the colour. So we're going to go with the blue,
So this one.
but it's a more modern blue. And it's a PPG colour. So basically, if you have a look up there, it's relatively close, but it's a little bit more of a silvery type blue. So I think it'll just look a bit better. If you put it up against there, you can see it's going to look really nice against that white. So yeah, that centre colour, white on the bottom. So those two together I think will look really cool. So I can actually, for once with this thing, I can see the finish line in sight. So yeah, like I say, I reckon max 3 weeks, and I'll probably end up eating my words, but max 3 weeks the paint will be done. And then it's just a little bit inside, reassembly, run the water hose, which is still rubbing on the tyre.
Are we gonna have to get a room for that?
No, they're really good rims, and these are really hard to find.
Those.
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, are we gonna have to buy a hubcap for that?
They're rare as rocking horse shit. Yeah, I've got hubcaps for it, but I'll polish up the hubcaps and we'll paint those in a silver base coat, clear coat, so they'll look really nice. So yeah, there we are. Long day, but really happy with progress today. I'm sort of getting back into it again now. Like I say, I got a bit despondent with this one, but we're just about there. Well, doesn't look like we're just about there, but we are. Considering where we came from, we're getting way closer. So anyway, bear o'clock. Alright, we've just had a look at this video. It's 17 minutes long, so that's long enough. So yeah, we'll end this one here, and in the next one I'm going to turn this thing around, do the other side and put it in